Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Paul Reed and I'm a professional photographer. So I've had the Leica Q3 Monochrom since it was released. This is my favorite camera of all time. I've used this almost every day since I got it all those years ago. But it's about to be announced by Leica that there's a Q3 Monochrom coming out, and I've had lots of messages from people, lots of emails asking me, am I getting one when it comes out? The question is really, should I get one? Should you get one? And I'm going to address that today as to what the benefits would be of getting a Q3 Monochrom, what it's going to offer. Before I do that, let me just say, anybody that pre-ordered the Monochrome Madness Handbook, those have all gone out to you this week. So that was over 500 pre-orders of this book, and I can't wait for you to get that. So you should get those very, very shortly. If you live in Canada, however, I've had to keep hold of your books for now because there's a hold on the Canada Post. Now, I'm hoping that that's going to be released very shortly so that I can get those sent out to you if you're in Canada. Anybody that didn't pre-order the book, right, I know you're going to go on the website and you're going to see that it's £5 more now than what it was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a discount code, and I'm going to put that in the description along with the link so that you can order the book. So it is released now, and I'm going to give you a discount code so that you can get it for the same price that everybody paid when they pre-ordered it. So let's have it. The Q2 Monochrom is just as good today as what it was before we knew there was a Q3 Monochrom coming out. This will continue to take amazing photographs, so there's nothing wrong with having a Q2 Monochrom even whenever the Q3 Monochrom comes out. This isn't like upgrading every time a new Leica comes out. We need to remember why we bought that Leica in the first place, and we bought a Leica probably because we thought it was going to be maybe a camera for life. This was going to last us. The build quality is amazing. We love how it feels. It's not like, say, the X100 series. I remember getting the very first Fuji X100, and every time that there was a new upgrade, the upgrade was very, very relevant, and it really did improve that camera a lot until really I think it's peaked now. Any upgrades to the X100 series from now on is almost going to be irrelevant because it's got great autofocus and it's got lots of megapixels and it's got a great lens, all of those things. It's hard to upgrade them much further than what they are. The Q2 Monochrom, okay, the autofocus isn't the best. And I think that's probably the only thing about this camera which, probably needs addressing. The Q3 Monochrom will have better autofocus for sure. It'll be phase detect. It'll be a more up-to-date autofocus system. I don't know how they've done it in the end because I know they were struggling with that part of it with a monochrome sensor, but for sure this is going to be a more modern autofocus system. If it doesn't have this new autofocus system, then that upgrade will be absolutely pointless, because that's the one thing that the Q2 Monochrom has, a really old style of autofocus. It's all done with contrast, so it's just not as good as what a modern camera can do for autofocus. I can't say it's really bothered me that much, but there has been those times where I've thought, man, wouldn't it be great if I had a modern autofocus on this camera? So for sure that would be a reason to upgrade to the Q3 Monochrom. It's going to have a flip screen. Now this is one of those things that you either want it or you don't, and a lot of people, whenever the Q3 came out, weren't that happy with the integration of the flip screen because it's not flush like this. This is really nice to hold, the Q2 Monochrom, the Q2, whereas the Q3, that screen comes out a bit and it's just not as a smooth an experience whenever you're holding the camera. So some people would probably rather do without that flip screen. Me, yeah, I'd do without the flip screen. So that part of it isn't really an upgrade for me, but I know that some of you really will want that flip screen because you find it really handy. The Q3 Monochrome is going to have more megapixels. It's going to be the same as the Q3, so it's around 60 megapixels. And whilst that's great for more cropping, don't forget it's a fixed 28mm lens, so sometimes though that cropping is necessary if you can't get close to the subject. But we've already got 47 megapixels on the original Q2 Monochrome. So is it needed? It's handy, I guess, but it's not something that you really need. For enlargements and things, 47 megapixels is overkill as it is, never mind 60. So is that upgrade worth it? I guess if you're a cropper, then yeah, it may be worth it. We can safely say that it's going to have more dynamic range than even the Q2 Monochrome has got. However, it's all going to be on the bottom end. It's still going to be the same that you can't overexpose those photos with it being a monochrome sensor. So that dynamic range is probably just going to mean that you can underexpose even more. And really, that feels irrelevant also. Everything else is going to be the same on the Q3 Monochrome. It's going to be the same lens. It's going to be a very similar experience. What you've got to think if you've already got a Q2 Monochrome is there's no room for a Q2 Monochrome and having a Q3 Monochrome. So you're going to end up selling this or trading it in. And you might have to put, like, let's just say it's another £2,000 or $2,000 towards in order for you to get that Q3 Monochrome. And I guess, is it worth it? Is that price worth the autofocus? Because I think the autofocus, really the better autofocus, is the only relevant upgrade to that camera that really will help. If this is going to be your very first monochrome sensor camera, if you're wanting into the Q series, then I would probably advise getting the latest one. So when the Q3 Monochrome comes out, I would probably advise get that one rather than the Q2 Monochrome. That's if you are expecting that camera to last you for the next 15, 20, 30 years, then it's always good to get the latest version of the camera. Of course, if you haven't got the money, then the Q2 Monochrome, it's always going to be a fantastic camera. It's just that the Q3 Monochrome is definitely going to have better autofocus. So am I going to get a Q3 Monochrome? Honestly, at this moment, I don't know, because I just don't know if those upgrades are worth that extra money. That £2,000 could be spent traveling somewhere and getting some fantastic photographs there. That might be better than spending that money on this upgrade. Look, I say all this and I can see myself in that Leica shop, and I can see me with my Q2 Monochrome there in one hand and looking at this Q3 Monochrome and thinking, man, I want that shiny new toy. So I can't promise that I won't get one, but I'm just not sure if I will or not. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you are going to get a Q3 Monochrome, because I'd be interested to know how many would be upgrading to one or not, if that autofocus is the main reason why you would be upgrading. Do you think I should get one? Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you next time.